Okay, I'm going to go over the exit ticket from yesterday. So we have Leslie, and her equation is y equals 10. And we talked yesterday that it has no growth. So it's going to be a flat line. And it has a y-intercept of 10. So it's going to be this flat line, and it's going to go through 10. So that's going to be Leslie's line. The blue line was Evie. So she, remember, when the sponsors, if she didn't write at all, they didn't have to pay anything. So it's going to start at 0, 0. But remember, along our y-axis was our money. Along our x-axis was our distance. So this really says she makes $3 for every 2 meters. So my rise over run brings this to $3. So I'm going to get $3 for every 2 meters. $3 for every 2 meters. $3 for every 2 meters. Okay. So that's what that should look like. And then we have Kristen with our green line. Now she has a y-intercept of 5, which means that she got $5 even if she didn't ride whatsoever. But then she gets 50 cents for every mile. Oop. I'll put this back on 5. And she gets 50 cents for every mile. So really going up 1 over 2. So when I look here, we're going up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Okay, so that's what the graph should look like. The second question asked about what effects does slope have on a graph and what effect does y-intercept have on a graph. Best way to do that is to look at Desmos. So I graphed this line right here. It has a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 2. And look what happens when I change the slope. So now I'm just going to change the m. I'm going to change it to a less number. And it changes the steepness. That's what slope does. If I change this number to a bigger number than 3, so I'm going to put it to 7, it changes how steep that line is. And so that's what slope is going to do. It changes that. It's still going to have the same y-intercept, but it's changing that steepness, that the slant of it. Okay. Now, if I change my y-intercept, so I'm going to get rid of this one now. So if I change my y-intercept, I'm just changing this number right here. Notice that it creates parallel lines because the steepness hasn't changed. All it does is it moves this blue line, it moves it up and down along the coordinate grid. So it kind of changes the location. If I change this to 5, then it's going to put it way up there. So the effect that slope has on our equation, it changes the steepness of the line. The effect that the y-intercept has kind of changes the placement.